All right. Hello, everybody. It is January 19th, 2024, and we are here for the market close. Sorry, I'm just a couple minutes late. This has been one of the best days in the market, I think, November, December were very good, so I don't want to say in a long time, but goodness gracious, the market we are seeing today is absolutely incredible. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff to get through, a lot of stuff to go through, but whatever you own today, I mean, you should be up something. Like, you got to be making money somewhere. Even if some stuff is down, some other stuff is up, you've got to be making some money somewhere because the market has just absolutely exploded today. I mean, it just decided to explode. Palantir's up 2%. Nvidia's at $592. It's up 3.81%. I want to show you guys some ETFs that are up really well and do a comparison of some of the ETFs and how they're doing. But the only way you're not up right now is if you own I think one stock inbound is pretty much all in on, which is Tesla. If you own a little Tesla, Tesla, if you own some Tesla, you're not making any money. Tesla. That one didn't rhyme too well, but yeah, Tesla's the only. And I just got a text right now from Steve, and he was like, "Well, Tesla not up right now is very concerning." And I said, "Or it's an opportunity." And he said, "Yeah, it's going under 200, and I'm buying it." That's what Steve said. I would be buying it with him as well. On top of that, you got PayPal that's doing really good this morning. So I want to talk about that. We just got a lot to talk about, guys, because there's just so much going on and so much green. Felicia, Broccoli Bob, Mr. Seymour Duck, ET FaceTime, David, Broccoli Bob, Inbound, June, Juby. I get off work at 3, so freaking happy you do market close now. Thank you so much, a bit. Jujuby, thank you for being here. Means the absolute world to me. And I should be thanking you for coming to the market close. So thank you for spending your precious time with me on the market close. Hope you enjoy. Alex Karp, Josh B. I can't believe I just said Alex Karp, but yes, Alex Karp is here. Tom Brady, Austin Smith, Mario, Calv, Luke Francis, Star Buccaneers, Matt with PayPal and 30,000 exclamation points. You deserve it, Matt. You're in some PayPal. You deserve it. I get paid to wait. David, we got to talk about SMCI, Real Baby Pluto, Gem, Lucy, Jody, Mario, Tesla, ETF, ET FaceTime, Real Baby Pluto. All right, let's get into it. Robert, what's up? Thank you for being here. Let's get into the stocks that are going up. Let's start talking about those. I just want to go through a bunch of them. We got about 10 minutes until market close, and I want to give my thoughts on a variety of these equities, along with crypto. I mean, Bitcoin did a nice little recovery today. People thought Bitcoin was going under. People thought Bitcoin was going under 40,000, and it kind of just like stopped because when there's so much liquidity entering into the broader markets, I mean, like, everything has to go up. So let's take it one by one. AMD is up 6.68% of the day. Okay, 173, new all-time high. Take a shot every time I say that today. All right, we've got Nvda that is also at a new all-time high at $593. Nvda, check this out. You probably didn't see the stat today. Nvidia is at a $1.46 trillion market cap. Okay. Amazon is at a 1.61 trillion. Amazon was stuck at 1.45 trillion for the past 3 weeks. So really, Nvidia is like very close to Amazon in terms of market cap. Amazon's run up over the past couple of days, which is why, Amazon was able to go above it. But I mean, come on, dude. Amazon and Nvidia just fighting neck and neck, and Nvidia does not do as much revenue as Amazon, but Nvidia's growth and their margins on their growth are a little bit better than Amazon. So the market's really excited. SMCI, you got this is up 35% on the day. This one, you might not know what it makes sense for it to be up 35% on the day. They make the hardware that the chips go into in regards to semiconductors. They produced preliminary earnings, basically showing that they're going to kick it out of the park, and the market's front running them, and they're up $422. This company's market cap is only $23 billion. Now, I say only because obviously it's contextual to their revenue, their growth, etc. But just like in a vacuum, when I say a company is only worth $20 billion in the semiconductor space, you got AMD at $200 billion, you got Nvidia at $1 trillion. It's just kind of crazy that there's a company right here that is relatively small and is growing enough to get the market to be excited. This is a company in 2019 was $20. So it's 20x since 2019. Hell of a return for anyone who's owned it. And really was $70 back in February of 2023. So Chris actually found it on Finance Junkies, and he made some money off some spreads on it, never really bought the stock and held it long term. I didn't really buy the stock. I didn't know that much about SMCI, but this is a stock that's done very well since 2023 alone. Palantir having a little bit of a rough day, but then it recovered, up 2% of the day. Nothing crazy, but still up 2%. That's not bad. ARM, remember that company? That's also in the semi space, up $78.48 right now, 5.73% of the day. Meta hit all-time highs as well. Meta is now $983 billion, 52-week high at 384 right now at 382. I think their earnings are going to crush February 1st. And they're probably going to get to $1 trillion. Meta will be back to becoming a $1 trillion company that it had in 2021, fell all the way down to, I think it was 200 billion market cap, and made its way back up to the glory, back at $1 trillion. Probably going to be happening next week. SMCI's over 500. That is correct. Just absolutely incredible as well. Costco, let's take a look at Costco right now. Costco, I think Costco's up today. Costco, yeah, 694. Look at that. Costco's up 1.04%. Tesla is still red. I mean, it's red by 0.04%. But dude, either we're all crazy for buying Tesla that it's red, or this is peak accumulation and the market has it wrong. And this is a real gift to longs. I personally think that the market has it wrong. Tesla's the most integrated EV company in the world. The bot is amazing, and it's going to be a great thing. But you know, it's not one of those things you're going to get the short dopamine off of in the short term on, you know, like Tesla getting to all-time highs, because that's not happening. The market has totally re-rated the narrative on Tesla. It's going to take a long time. Elon's tweeting sex positions. Like it's there's too many negative, kind of not negative, I want to say, but just like not things that are the best in terms of catalysts that are compounding on Tesla. And as a result of that, you know, you're not going to see Tesla be able to get a ton of momentum. So Tesla right now is at $211, but I think that's actually good. I think that's a great opportunity for us. And if it goes under 200, that's great. Now, genuinely, I kind of think, and we'll talk about PayPal in a second, but because PayPal's up 6%, but I kind of think this is too much too quick. I don't really think that the market should be up this much. It's kind of ridiculous that Nvda is up 20% in the past 10 days. Like it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So my question is trying to make sure how it makes sense. And so I'm trying to figure out, in a world in which we're not going to get a rate cut in March, hypothetically, in a world in which all these Fed clowns are coming, or sorry, presidents are coming up and they're saying like, oh, you know, it's a demand that caused inflation. It's not just supply, and the printing is permanent forever, blah, 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 blah. In a world in which the 10-year is back at 4.1 when it's up from 3.8, well, then the question becomes, why is all this liquidity entering in to the stock market, and particularly entering into the Qs, right? The NASDAQ 100 QQQ right now is 421. Look at that. It's at all-time highs at 421 right now. S&P, by the way, I forgot to show that. S&P is at 480. So Tom Lee was correct. We bounced our way up to 4,800 on the S&P 500. Now we're up 1.22% of the day. Again, when you move the S&P up 1% of the day, that's very good, either to the downside or the upside. S&P at 482. The market has said, you know what? We kind of don't care about inflation. We don't even want to see tech earnings yet, right? Maybe we're going to see some downside if tech earnings suck. I think tech earnings are going to be amazing. And so the market's already giving in a little bit of that growth at 482, up 1.21%. The S&P is at all-time highs. QQQ at all-time highs. The only one out of the ETFs that's not at an all-time high is NASDAQ, but even the NASDAQ is up 250 points today, 15,305. So where is this liquidity coming from? I'm trying to figure it out. I would love to know your guys' comments in the chat as well. Where do you think all this liquidity is coming from? I mean, when it comes to like Rabbit can sell 50,000 devices, like, I don't really know where all the money is coming from. Are people just super excited for tech? Is there a little bit of a rotation? Oh, where are some of the value names today? Are they taking a beating? No, even Verizon is up today. It's not up a lot, but it's still up. Like, everything is green, dude. Everything. The only thing that's red is Enphase, that's down 3%, and Roblox, which is down 0.6%. And then even the Bitcoin stocks, we'll talk about them after the bell, but the Bitcoin stocks, they recovered. They were down bad today, but they recovered because I think there was so much money going into the markets. You know, the algorithms become the algorithms and shit just goes up. So liquidity is from rotation. Yeah, but rotation from what? Because it's not like the value stocks are necessarily declining. The rotation might be a little bit from cash on the sidelines. We saw today, if you guys didn't see, the money market funds decreased by $15 billion today instead of increasing. So we saw a little bit of a decrease in money markets, which is okay. It's not bad. But if $15 billion is nothing, you know, like there's still 5.98 trillion there. So not sure exactly if that is enough to prop up some of these equity markets. I don't know. I really don't know where it's coming from. I want to do a little bit more and kind of see rotation from bonds. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it could explain why the 10-year is a little bit higher. iRobot is down. Yeah, for those that were interested into the iRobot merger, that failed. The court struck it down, so that's why they went down 50%. United Health is down. Netflix is down. I just don't know if enough of that is causing a rotation into tech. I'm trying to figure out where the hell the money's coming. Even Truist, guys. Truist is up 4%. It's at 37.44. I mean, Truist, I didn't expect Truist to do as well as it did because their earnings just weren't that good, but they were good enough for the market to be like, we're sending it to 37. And so, I mean, I'm looking at the portfolio right now. Even SoFi, Robinhood at 1070. Robinhood and SoFi got murdered this week. Fintech got murdered this week, but they, even Robinhood and SoFi still went up at the end of the day because, at some point, if the market's just going green, then a lot of these companies go green as well. But if you own tech today, like if you owned, Google is kind of my big tech allocation. Google position is doing well. If you owned any type of tech, you should be doing very well today. Like Google, remember, got to 120. Now it's at 145 because of that cloud miss they had. So like a lot of the market has been rewarding different layers of the stock market. I'm just trying to figure out from a macro perspective, where exactly is all this liquidity coming from? Harry K says, people think higher for longer, they leave bonds for tech. AI sentiment from Davos, very bullish. Earning sentiment too, big intersection. All of that makes sense to me. My question is, where is the money coming from? Is it coming from people's money market funds? Is it coming from just they had cash on the side? Like, that's what I'm really curious about. Or did they sell certain sectors to get into tech? That is what I'm curious about. Because it seems like today, and maybe I'm wrong, it seems like new liquidity was brought into the market. Like money that we haven't seen in a while came into the market, given the insane, green that we're seeing. So it's either new money came, which could be from bonds, it could be from value stocks in terms of the rotation, or it could literally be from people, taking money from the sidelines, which would be a little bit of a money market rotation there. So we'll see. We'll see. Got a lot of work to do over the next couple of days to kind of figure this out and see how sustainable it is. But so far, market's done very well. January 19th, 4 p.m. Thank you all for being here. The stock market is now closed. I was about to say wake your ass up. Relax your ass down for February. Not for February. What am I saying, dude? For Friday. We do have February in 10 days, 11 days, but we've got a market to close. Let's take a look at all of these stocks, see how they're doing. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, guys. We got a decently long show, and we got another 45 minutes. I want to discuss a bunch of different things that are going on. We got Apple news. We got some other tech news. We got interest rate stuff I want to discuss. So let's get into everything that we have going on. Okay, Truist, 37.50, up 4% on the day. QQQ, up 2% on the day, 421, all-time highs. NASDAQ, 15,300, incredible. Verizon ends the day up 1%. Meta ends the day up 2%. Amazon ends the day up 1.0%. Nvda ends the day up 4.17%. SMH, this is the semiconductor ETF that Michael Burry was potentially shorting. This company is up 3.8%. I looked at the ETFs. QQQ is up about 3%. S&P is up about 2%. SMH is up 8% on the year. So out of all the ETFs you could have bought, I don't know about some of the levered ones. We should look at TQQ in a second, but SMH is up 3.8% on the year. And, it's not a bad way to start the year. 2024 looking like so far it's the year of the semis, just given how some of these companies are performing. TSM had good earnings yesterday. So that might be the case. TQQQ, I'm looking at it right now, is up 6% on the day. So when QQQ is up 2%, QQQ is up 6%. Year to date, TQQQ is up 12.6%. A lot more people use the leveraged ETFs, which is just a broader way to get exposure to an industry as a trading vehicle, not really as an investment. I mean, some people use it as an investment. It's just a little bit more riskier on the upside or downside. So you got TQQ up a nice 6% on the day. Palantir ends the day up 2.29% on the day. SMCI, 35%. Incredible. PayPal, 6%. We'll get right back to them in a second. DWAC, Donald Trump's SPAC, is up 50% in a week. So if anyone made any money on that, shout out to you guys. IWM, small caps, not performing as much as people thought they would. I mean, this was a theme I was noticing throughout the day. Tom Lee said, well, the year of 2024 is going to be small caps. Maybe, but so far that's not happening. The year of 2024 is large cap tech. It's kind of funny because it's like ARK with their whole innovation play. It's like, dude, ARK cannot outperform one of the Mag 7. ARK could not perform one of the Magnificent Seven stocks, dude. Like the Magnificent Seven are doing phenomenal, and ARK is really not performing because they don't have that much exposure outside of Tesla. The one thing they have exposure to is the one that sucks in the Magnificent Seven, which is Tesla. So you've got IWM, the small cap unprofitable companies. They're not doing that well compared to big cap tech, which means maybe the moats of these big cap technology companies are just so big. The network effects are just too strong that they're not going to be displaced this year. And if you want really, good returns, it might be in large cap tech. Maybe all of us are underestimating how big they're going to be. Let's look at some of the Bitcoin stocks, then we'll talk to PayPal. Bitcoin 41,708. It's up 2% of the day. Ethereum is up 1% of the day. CleanSpark after hours up 0.44%. Coinbase took a beating, but still came back to life, up 0.33%. MicroStrategy as well. It looks like nothing happened throughout the day, but they took a beating and then they came back once, by power hour, just everything started going up, and these guys had to go up as well. Up only down 1.15% of the day. Bitfarms, this was under $2. Now it's at $2.90. Marathon is at 16.17. Marathon had some Rex Finance, my guy on YouTube, he covers crypto. He put out a video on them. The video got 15,000 views. I didn't watch the video, but he basically said that the company is scamming everybody and they have a lot of bad stuff going on under the hood. And so Marathon it's green right now, but it had a rough day. Jesse, popular guy on Twitter, one of my friends, he sold out of his entire Marathon position. And I think he had, I don't know, I think he had to have like at least 5,000-6,000 shares. I might be doing it wrong, but he had a lot of shares and he got rid of it today because he felt that worried about the risk. He sold out of Hut and Marathon, those two Bitcoin miners. Recently, he got rid of them. I'm just waiting for him to be like, God, by the way, guys, CleanSpark is a scam. And then I've got to be like, well, okay. But I think CleanSpark is the one company, the one miners, the one out of the Bitcoin miners that I actually think is real. And it's because I talked to Matt Schultz. Remember, I talked to the CEO and executive chairman of that company a year ago, and I didn't get scam vibes. Dilution is not really a scam, in my opinion, especially when there's a reason for dilution. Scam is like them hiding certain shit. And that's what came out in the J Capital short report for Hut. And then another report that came out for Marathon today. And that's what got the market scared. Now, granted, if Bitcoin goes up, I think all these stocks are going up. So it doesn't really matter. But in the short term, it's about the volatility and, where you want to be. Again, if Bitcoin goes to 60,000, all of these companies moon. It doesn't fucking matter if they're hiding something in the Swiss islands. Like, it really doesn't matter. If Bitcoin goes up, these guys go up. But the question is, in the short term, where do you want to be when it comes to volatility? Robinhood as well, barely up on the day, up 0.37%, but it's still, Robinhood was almost at 10.30, but it recovered. Same thing with SoFi. SoFi was almost at 7.15, but it recovered to 7.50 because markets just went up. Okay, let's talk about PayPal. PayPal, incredible day, up 6% of the day. We haven't seen a PayPal green day in a while. Let me show you guys my PayPal position because I tweeted it today. And so we'll talk a little bit about what I'm looking at when it comes to PayPal. If you are not following me on Twitter, I don't know why, because you get to see like juicy PayPal stuff. So make sure you follow me on Twitter. Let me just put the Twitter in the chat, and please make sure to follow that. Okay, so a couple things on PayPal. Here we go. Let me timestamp this as well. We're at 1827. Let's do PayPal. Okay. So we've got, I looked at updated call options. We've got 134,000 PayPal $140 call options for January 2025. So the reason I'm showing this is because there is even though the market has murdered the stock, there is a level of either retail or institutional. And I don't think 134,000 is just retail. I think there has to be some institutional exposure there of interest for this company getting back to a fair valuation. And a fair valuation, I think people have argued, is about 95 to $100. And then you go a little bit more out of the money. You assume that, the market gives it a bigger premium. You get to 140. So there's 134,000 contracts there. You can see it on the open interest. There's 78,000 contracts on the 145. So 140 and 145, a ton of liquidity there. It's so weird because I clicked on 120 and like the liquidity is not the same. Clicked on 110, the liquidity is not the same. For some reason, that 140, 145, obviously because it's more out of the money, so they're cheaper options. But that is what got the market very excited when it comes to PayPal. Now, here's how my PayPal position is doing. You guys know my position by now. So first of all, here's the position. I have $85, $125 call options. Okay, they're spreads. Bought the $85 call, sold the $125 call. I paid an average cost of $5.99 for these call options. Okay. these call options are currently worth, let me just look at the updated numbers, not the screenshot. They are currently worth, they're currently worth they're currently worth more. They're currently worth $4.35. So right now on the screen, it says $4.16. They're currently worth $4.35. So that is a total investment of basically 600 times 16. So let's do that right there. That is basically $9,500 that I put into this. That's why I've been saying it's like a $10,000 position. That's down 27% on the day. It's down about 30, but let's just call it 30%. Okay. So it's down $2,900, down 3,000. Now if this is up, this option strategy is up 32% on the day because PayPal's up 6% on the day. Okay. So this option strategy has been taking a beating for a long time, but finally, PayPal had a 6% green day. And then this company went up. And it has 6% green day, and you didn't even have to wake them up until September ended. So that was really nice to see from PayPal. Now here, the stimulated returns, this is a really cool feature on Robinhood. If PayPal somehow by January 17th, 2025 gets to $125, that's my strike, not 140, 125. I will have a max profit of $54,000 because I will be able to sell the spread to the market at $40 a contract. I bought it at $599 a contract. Okay. So that means each contract will be worth close to $4,000, and I paid $600 for each of them. 4,000 divided by 600, you get a 670% return. I don't think we're getting to 125, and maybe I'm too bearish, but I think I'm pretty bullish. Just assuming we get to $100 by the end of 2024. I don't think we're getting to 125. If we even get to 100, the options will probably double or triple, even if they don't quintuple. And so it'll be a nice return on the 10,000 I put in. Hopefully, if I can get back 20 grand from that. But look, if PayPal actually does get to 140, which is what the market is betting on in terms of all those call options, and my strikes are at 125, I make $55,000, which is not too bad. Granted, we have to see if that actually happens. Did you say stimulated return? I did say stimulated return because I've always gotten simulated and stimulated wrong. I don't know what it is about me. So I probably, if you roll back the clip, did say stimulated return. I didn't, that wasn't a joke. The Green Day joke was a joke. Some of you guys got it in the chat. I see everything, but the stimulated was not actually a joke. So yeah, I think PayPal is going to be super exciting. Kieran says if it goes to 140, I will make 60,000. I'm not sure it will. 140 is hard to imagine. And remember, why is the market kind of excited about PayPal? Well, Alex Chris, CEO, said January 25th, we're going to shock the world. And look, I mean, we've been through this with PayPal, dude. It's up 6% on the day, but I don't trust it at all. I don't trust the market right now at all. So I hope no one was really buying today, because like even my mom, she texted me. She was like, "Oh, what's the S&P 500?" Because she's starting to get into ETFs and index funds. And I had to be adamant to don't buy it today. like we will talk about the S&P, just don't buy it today. And look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the S&P goes to fucking 500 in the next 2 months. But in general, I think there will be a little bit better, a bit of a better entry than on today, even if it's just a slightly better entry. Now, granted, I could be completely wrong, and we are in a new bull rally, and 2024 is not going to see the light of day when it comes to a recession, because if inflation is coming down and we're already green, then really the market has no reason to sell off outside of taking profits, which is not enough of a reason to see a massive decline. However, I also know what it feels like to be in peak green euphoria. We were just there 2 weeks ago, and then everything sells off. So I think when you've been through this for a while, you have to take it with a grain of salt that today was a great day, and if you took some profits, awesome. You probably deserve to take some profits, but it could also go to shit in the next couple of weeks. I mean, it just is what it is when it comes to the markets. And so we'll see. We'll be covering everything, and we'll see where it goes. Nvda going to break $600 post market. Let's take a look at it. It's at what, 595 at this point? Wow, 595.70. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised. The thing about the markets that I've also noticed is that once you cross a certain threshold, the market is very willing, even if it's an overvaluation, to give you higher thresholds. So for example, psychologically, it was really important for Nvidia to get beyond that $500 level, right? Because it was literally stuck at 417, 430 for a very long time. And it figured out a way. It got the momentum, had some fancy event, and then the market gave Nvidia above 500. And now the market's like, well, 600 is not that crazy if you were above 500. 540 is not that crazy. 550 is not that crazy. 570 is not that crazy. And I think the same thing will happen to Palantir one day. Once Palantir reasonably gets above $25, it won't be crazy for the market to be like, all right, 25, 30, 35, and we'll play in that role. Right now, we're playing in the $15 to $20 area. I think eventually the market's going to play, at a better area. But it takes growth. It takes a lot of, confidence, and that hasn't happened yet with Palantir. But with Nvidia, it's there. I mean, there's no other stock I think the people could be more confident about besides Nvidia because of their growth. I mean, they're projecting another 178% year-over-year growth. I mean, like when that's happening, you just can't deny that the company might be cheap. TSM is up as well, about 1% of the day. And if that's the case, well, the market's going to be excited for it. And you're going to see some momentum there. Celsius, oh boy, did me and Steve pick a good time to be bearish on Celsius. Celsius ended up kind of, not doing the best today. And the reason for that is because they got not a short report, but a Bank of America downgrade. And the reason I didn't read through the whole downgrade, but the downgrade was pretty much just their market share is hard to AMD at 174 as well. Their market share is very hard to compete for because they're saturated. That was the argument, that they're saturated. And look, I want to read through the whole thing. Let me see if I can pull it up, dude. If I can just pull up some basic parts of it, because is this not what Steve and I said? We were just like, dude, the energy market, the energy drink market is very saturated, and it's going to be hard to imagine them taking that much market share from Monster. That was our basic argument. Now, granted, look, we're probably wrong. We did a very small level of due diligence on Celsius. I cannot say that me and Steve are experts on this company, but our bare, like, basic understanding of this, looking at the market cap, the growth, and that industry competitors, was like, people want a 3-5x out of this. This thing is already up 10,000x in the past couple of years. Maybe people are expecting a little bit too much from this guy. That was our basic argument. But maybe we need to get a real bull. Like, I would be so open to revisiting to do a second episode, as Matt says, with a real bull who can tell us why we're idiots, because I don't see it, but I guess people do see it. So here's some Celsius. So this is this guy named Jonah. He's really bullish on Celsius. He says Celsius is down 8% today because some moron at Bank of America lowered their rating from buy to hold and adjusted price target at 65. He said it's useless. These analysts, they're just really useless. I'm trying to get the actual report. What did Bank of America say? Okay, so here's a report. So Celsius U.S. sales continue to be very strong with considerable opportunity supported by rising consumer awareness, yet uncertainties arise regarding recent declines in market share and velocity. It's unclear if these are seasonal or indicative of a larger trend. With Monster aiming to broaden Rainstorm and recapture lost Bang distribution and Red Bull sustaining powerful marketing efforts, there's potential for competition to impact growth in the coming year. To foster a more favorable outlook, Celsius Holdings must improve both velocity and market share. Strategies to achieve this goal involve optimizing shelf space in stores, diversifying product range, blah, 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 blah. Additionally, efforts to expand international markets, particularly the ongoing rollout in Canada, are underway. Despite these initiatives, we emphasize potential obstacles, citing concerns about lack of distinctive innovation, interesting, and heightened competition. Okay, so basically Bank of America is like, look, they will grow, but there's obstacles for them to grow to the amount the market needs them to grow to justify the multiple. And by the way, there's not really that distinct, innovative argument for their brand for us to be like, oh, Celsius is great. I mean, look, maybe I'm wrong, but that's literally what me and Steve said Thursday. And I'm not doing a victory lap or anything. These analyst downgrades are stupid. They don't matter that much. But it's just really interesting kind of seeing an analyst have the same concerns me and Steve had within 20 minutes, which is that the brand is not that exciting. It's Gatorade in the gym with energy. Great. Which is not like I drink, like I want to go to the bar and get a Red Bull and a vodka, right? Like that's a whole different form of distribution. You're like, I'm not going to the bar and saying, hey, can I get the Celsius Fit energy drink with my tequila? Like that's not happening. And then market share, Monster's market cap is 60 billion. Celsius is at 13 billion. You're telling me Celsius to do a 5x is going to get to Monster's market cap, even a 2x, half of Monster's market cap. How much market share do they have to take away from Monster and Red Bull? I feel like there's just a lot there. Granted, maybe the growth is going to outpace it, but I just feel like there's a lot there. I really do. I really, really, really do. Do you know Dumb Money? No, but I can reach out to these guys. I would love to have anyone. Dude, if anyone's in the chat that wants to come on the channel, I would love to have you guys come on the channel. Because it's a very simple argument, dude. It's a very simple argument that the market cap is 1/5 of the biggest energy drink company in the world. The brand is not that interesting. What are you going to do to take away market share from these guys to be able to at least 2x? Like that is the simple question. And so we need to have some people on the stream. Chris is into it. Okay, well, I'll ask Chris about it, but I don't think Chris has done that much DD, guys. I think Chris, from my understanding, Chris was like, it's a Peter Lynch play. And Chris was like, I see a bunch of nurses drink it, so I'm buying it. Like, I don't think Chris has really gone through all the numbers and was like, oh my God, this is like the best. Like, it's not a big position for him by any means. He's just like, all right, I'll throw some money in it, which is fine. But I want a bull. I want a bull who's just like obsessed with this drink to try to get a better understanding of it. Okay, let's go back into some of these equities. SoFi is up 751. We got earnings next week for SoFi. That's going to be very exciting. NASDAQ 15,300, QQQ 421, Costco is up, ARM is up, SMH is up, Tesla is up 212. Let me play you guys a clip. I've been posting a bunch of clips on Twitter of the Meet Kevin interview. So let me play you guys a clip. I asked him the same question I asked on Sunday, which is Magnificent Seven become Magnificent Six in 5 years. Which company actually leaves the Magnificent Seven? So let's hear what he had to say on this topic. 2029, the Magnificent Seven is now the Magnificent Six. Ooh. What is the one company that's not there anymore?
Oh, wow. Okay. I really, this is just like a personal pet peeve, but like I kind of hate Facebook.
I thought you were gonna go there.
Yeah. Mostly because, quite frankly, I think their ad business, I don't think is going to sustain growth the way people think it will. So I think it's still a cow that could be milked, but they're taking all the milk and dumping it into Reality Labs. And I don't think Zuck is actually going to drive us into a virtual reality future.
You think Apple's going to do that?
No, I don't know that Apple will do that either.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who it's going to be, whom, whatever. I don't know what company it's going to be. I don't think it's Facebook. So I just look at a bet on Facebook, especially at this valuation, as a bet not on cash flow, but a bet on Reality Labs. And I think that's a bad bet.
It's interesting he says that. He's bearish Facebook. Facebook obviously all-time highs today, but his argument is that the advertising business eventually will die out and that the cash flow coming from the advertising business is going to not die out, but you know what I mean? It's just not going to be growing as much as it is currently. That'll go to Reality Labs. And when it goes to Reality Labs is not going to be that successful. The full podcast is in the description and in the chat right now. Please subscribe to that new channel. That new channel is all macro analysis. Give it a chance for 2 weeks. If you hate it, you can unsubscribe, but please subscribe to that channel. That's where the Meet Kevin interview is. We already have 580 subscribers. So thank you to everyone who subscribed. Full podcast. We talked about a lot of fun stuff, and I'll probably play a couple more clips later, is on that channel. We got Supreme Bag Holder in the chat. This guy is very, very bullish on Facebook and Meta. He's been a Meta investor for the past, I think, 4 or 5 years now. He's made a lot of money off of Meta. He says Kevin doesn't understand Meta's ad business and even less Zuck. Most of Reality Labs' CapEx is on AI. I actually agree with you. I don't agree with Kevin's take. It was so interesting because I asked Meet Kevin, I said, so, you know, what do you think about Twitter, right? Like, how do you feel about Twitter, the company? And he said their advertising business sucks, and it reminds me of Instagram. And I was like, wait a second, Instagram is a good advertising business. Facebook did $34 billion last quarter, not last year, last quarter, in 90 days off of ads. Why are you comparing them to Twitter that can like barely make is definitely not making a profit on these ads? And he said his argument was the scrolling interface for ads is not good. And when he said that, I was just like, well, it's working for Facebook. I mean, the advertisers are coming back for a reason, even if it's not working on Twitter, but that's a Twitter problem, not a Facebook problem. So I disagree with him from that perspective. In terms of the Reality Labs, Meta Quest sort of plan to dominate the world, I agree with him, but not because it's Meta. I agree with him because I don't believe in a future where we're wearing the Vision Pro stuff on our heads. I really don't. There was this thing that Apple came out with today. I'm actually going to link it to you guys if you guys want to check it out. Apple came out with a 10-minute Vision Pro like walkthrough of like how to use it and all this type of stuff. And I didn't think I could get more bearish on it. And I got more bearish on it. Like I was more bearish in terms of how they walk through first of all, the whole interview was so weird. They were like, here's someone who has never used the Vision Pro before, trying on the Vision Pro for the first time with a bunch of Apple employees. And the dude is acting like he's a paid actor. I mean, there's no way he said exactly what they wanted him to say in the moment. He's like, oh my God, it's like so big. And so that's what she said as well. But like when he said that, it was just like, dude, like this is a joke. Like just tell us. Just tell us he's not like, don't lie to us because this feels like you're lying right now and you're making it all weird. It cost $4,000. Okay. Gene Munster posted a picture today. It cost $3,800 with taxes. It's not $3,500. I thought that $3,500 actually included taxes. I thought somehow Apple actually included the taxes in the $3,400 and they're not really going to get you on an extra $200. Nope. It costs about $3,800 with taxes. And then this was the worst thing that happened today with Apple. Okay. And this goes to my thesis for why I just don't think Meta Labs, Reality, Quest, whatever, is Reality Labs Quest is also going to be that exciting, because I just don't think there's that big of a use case for it. This is also what Apple put out today. This was insulting. This was insulting today. Okay. They are releasing a $200 case, $199, to store your Vision Pro in. It's not like I'm upset at them. I'm not an Apple bear. I'm not shorting. I don't give a shit about Apple, quite frankly. It's the audacity for this case that probably cost them $5 maximum to build in China when you're building hundreds of thousands at once. For it to be $199, dude, that's the cost of an AirPod Pro. Like, I could get a whole new Apple product for the price I'm paying for a case. It is just egregious. And to me, it's a big FU to the consumer to assume that we're just going to pay this stuff. And like, I just don't know if enough consumers have it in to pay this time. I really don't. They just want to extract customer money. And look, they're a business that they have a good brand and they should be doing that. I'm a capitalist. I believe they should have the right to do that. But at some level, it's just like, what are we talking about here? We're talking about $4,200 for a device that has 2 hours of battery that I have to have a wire attached to something in my pocket just to be able to walk around with it. No, man, it's ridiculous. You can get a Quest 2 for the price of the case. Exactly. So, I think Meta is going to sell more Quests than Apple Vision Pro, unless Apple Vision Pro and the early people that ordered, probably like 50,000, 70,000 people pre-ordered it today, unless they have the most amazing experience. And getting back to the video, when I was watching their 10-minute video, and I encourage people to watch, if you just type in Apple Vision Pro on YouTube, it'll probably pop up. It's like or even on Twitter, it's like a 10-minute walkthrough. The problem with the video is they were showing a guy on FaceTime. They were showing a guy in his workspace. They were showing a guy watching a video. Stuff that it's not like stuff we haven't seen. And I just asked myself, would I pay $4,000 for that experience? And would I use that thing daily? I would maybe pay $300 to Meta for that. And I probably wouldn't use it daily, so I would waste the $300, but I'm definitely not wasting $4,000 on that. And it's one of those things where I know that the pushback is like, well, it's Apple. People will just buy it because it's Apple. I get it. But at some point, I don't know if people will just buy it because it's Apple anymore. Like the iPad, when that first came out and it was too expensive, the utility was at least you could hold it around and like there's this big TV in your pocket, right? Like the Vision Pro is clunky. You have to wear it. Your nose is gonna get annoyed. Your head is gonna get annoyed, and you have to be in that immersive experience. And to pay $4,000 to be in that immersive experience, I don't see the vision. I just don't. So to me, not gonna be that exciting. But it's something that people care about. Kay says a phone without a keyboard crazy. Everyone when the iPhone came out, you guys can keep using this argument about, a BlackBerry iPhone. The Vision Pro does not have a real use case. It's just that simple. And if anyone here buys the Vision Pro, please let me know. Come back to the stream if you're using it every day. If you are, I'll stand corrected. I highly believe that most people will not use this thing every day. That's where the iPhone is differentiated. People can't not use their iPhone for the next 5 minutes. The iPhone is stuck to people. The Vision Pro is not stuck. You're not going to be on the subway with a Vision Pro on listening to Spotify, which is why Spotify, YouTube, and Netflix said, we're not making any apps for your shitty product. They said they're not doing it. And the reason they're not doing it is because they're getting no incentive from Apple, and they're definitely not getting any favoritism from Apple. And they're also not getting massive consumer adoption. They have to wait and see before they should even develop, the hundreds of millions they would have to spend building a really sophisticated product on top of Vision OS. So I don't believe in the metaverse. That's correct. I don't believe in the metaverse either. I don't believe in the metaverse. 10 years ago, people said $300 for it. Doesn't even last. Old days. Ridiculous for a watch. I do think the watch has more utility than the Vision Pro, even though I'm bearish on the watch too, dude. I've never bought an Apple Watch. Even though from the health perspective, I think the watch has more utility, but I just don't see it with the Vision Pro, dude. I really don't see it with the Vision Pro. Having an iPhone to carry around was a status symbol. People want to go around with the Vision Pro on their head. Can't show off. No buy. Yeah, dude. That's such a good point. Status symbol is everything. Would you pay $2,000 for a MacBook Pro? I paid $2,500 for the MacBook Pro I'm streaming off right now because I use it daily for hours a day, and it's the fastest computer I've ever used with this M3 chip. That's why I paid. Did I have to pay $2,500? No, I probably could have paid Apple. It probably could have topped out at $2,000, maybe $1,850. But I paid the $2,500 because I wanted that experience and it was really usable. I'm not saying people won't pay for the experience. I'm saying, is this even an experience? You're in your house. You're not walking around downtown. You're not getting to hold your MacBook on the airplane or in the coffee shop and seem like you're some hipster. If you wear a Vision Pro at a Starbucks, you're a loser. You are an absolute loser if you wear a Vision Pro at a Starbucks. I'm sorry. Like you're just trying to show off. Like you have some insecurity, you have some ego issues if you like if you wear a Vision Pro to Starbucks. I'm sorry. So I don't see it. I don't see it. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and it could do really well. I personally I don't see it. I do not see it yet. And maybe it'll change. But as of now, it is not something that's the most exciting. And now, granted, if Apple sells a ton of them, the question then becomes, what's the margin on them? And is it going to actually be sustainable for Vision Pro 2, Vision Pro 3, Vision Pro 4? Like, is that an S-curve that's forming? I don't see it. But if I'm wrong, then Apple's got an S-curve, and they need to have some S-curve because right now the business is not growing at all. The battery life is only 2 hours too. Yeah. It's a safety issue wearing it outdoors. Yeah. I mean, there's complaint after complaint after complaint. With phones and computers, you should never go cheap. You spend 60 hours a week on these devices. Same goes with beds. I agree. Phones and computers never go cheap at all. Apple screwed too many partners over and they aren't hopping on the platform. That's another thing, Starbucks. The reason Spotify is not building their app for the Vision Pro is because Apple charges that 30% fee every time you try to buy a Spotify subscription. So Spotify has been, Daniel Ek has been yelling at regulators for years to please, for the love of God, can you tell Apple to not literally, hold me by the neck and like clutch my balls just for me to be able to make some money on my music streaming company so that people can buy a Spotify subscription that's already 95% of it's going to the record labels. Now Apple wants another fucking 30%. Like, please. And the regulators haven't been able to fix it. And so it makes total sense in the world that Spotify is like, dude, you barely have any people using the Vision Pro. You want me to invest my R&D to build you guys a music app? Nope. Screw you guys. Have fun with Apple Music. So that's some of the problems we're seeing there as well. June says, Amit never lived through the era of people carrying around huge beatboxes on their shoulders. That's true. I've seen it in movies, but I never lived through that. But I did have a CD player when I was growing up. So you guys think I'm super, super young, but I had a CD player. I bought Jesse McCartney, Beautiful Soul, first album, 2004. I had a CD player and I put that CD player in and I played and, I had a legitimate, one of those things, but I was alive before like the iPod went mainstream, right? I was born in 1997. So I liked music by 2004. So I bought the album. I remember that album like it was yesterday. So the tapes and the beatbox, no, but the CDs I did. And then eventually the iPad obviously changed everything. Would you consider the product a success if they make more profit than Facebook does on Oculus? Well, no, because making more profit is not the barometer of success. Facebook wants to use Oculus as a loss leader because they want to monetize the metaverse. So they just want to sell as many devices as possible. And the advertising business is printing so much money. They don't need to make a profit on the Quest. So they don't really care. That's their point. What's a success is if Meta can get, I think Facebook has sold, well, let's ask Bard. Here we go. We're going to use Bard. How many Meta Quests has Meta sold in the past 5 years? I think it's a success if they get more people buying it than buy the Meta Quest, not if it's more profitable. About 20 million. Okay. So about 20 million units. So they need to get 20 million people in the Vision Pro. And by the way, those 20 million people that bought it, I would argue probably 2% of them use it every day, if that. And you'd be like, oh, it's big in the gaming. It's like, yeah, some people game every day, but most people are not literally gaming every single day, right? I mean, maybe some people, but if they are, a lot of them are using the PlayStation 5, right? Which is way more popular than the Meta Quest. Like, yes, gaming is big and experiences are big as an industry, but Meta Quest is not optimized for experiences, definitely optimized for gaming. People say it's used in healthcare, sure, but even if you put it in healthcare, doctors are not wearing that shit all the time with surgeries. It's not really optimized for every single surgery you do. Like, I just don't see the use case at all for this to become a daily user. I really don't. And so if Apple sells 20 million of them, then maybe, they can compete with Meta Quest. The cassette player, that's what it's called. Cassette player. Nahar, what's up? Thank you for being here. Can't wait to see your fake bricks in HD Metavision. Look, man, if you guys want to watch me on the Vision Pro, then that's great. I'm very happy. But I am not going to be buying a Vision Pro and testing it out. I just can't. And a lot of the tech YouTubers will, and I'll be very curious to see their opinion, and I'll be very curious to see if they use it every day. It's kind of one of those things where maybe Apple just needs to transition to become a value company and give a dividend, because where the iPhone, MacBook, iPad, maybe that's really not where the next generation of growth is. Definitely not the Apple Watch or AirPods. Services is fine, but services, you need more devices to really scale services. And then they gave up on the car because Tim Cook had an ego, didn't want to talk to Elon Musk in 2018. And so the only thing they got left is this stupid Vision Pro. And the stupid Vision Pro is not exciting to me. Now, granted, I think the stock will probably still do well in 2024 because the market has like this love-hate relationship with Apple. Apple, they hate that it can't grow, but they can't leave it. It's like a toxic relationship with an ex, right? Like you just can't leave her, even though you know she's bad for you. Like Apple's not growing, but you can't leave Apple because it's Apple. So I think the stock's going to do well. I just don't think the product itself is going to do as well as people think. You're focusing on the headset. The headset will evolve. All of the tech is about to evolve exponentially in ways we never saw coming. Yeah, again, I just disagree. I don't think people want to wear glasses. And maybe I'm wrong on that. And if I'm wrong on that, then I'll gladly say I'm wrong and I'll use the glasses every day. But even Meta is super big on the Ray-Ban glass. I'm like, dude, I don't think people want to use the glasses. I don't think people want to walk around with those glasses. Google Glasses tried that. It didn't work. And yes, the tech was horrible back then, but there was a reason it also didn't catch on, in my opinion. So, I don't see it. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it. Let's get an update on the Vision Pro pre-orders and hear from some analysts what they're thinking.
Journal personal technology columnist. Joanna, great to see you again. You've had a chance to get it in a series of environments. Just give us your initial take.
Look, I've worn this 4 times, and my take is pretty much the same every time. Wow, this is a lot of tech to put on your face, and I'm calling this a face computer. I'm hoping that term can catch on, so let's all call this a face computer from now on. But also that this thing is really natural to use, and that when you compare this to other VR headsets that have had those clunky controllers and really sort of a blurry interface when you're looking at the real world, this is much more natural. But to get that, you've got to put this pretty big contraption on your head.
Has the chip performance reduced latency to the point where you don't get, for example, nauseous?
Well, so I have not gotten nauseous since my first demo. And I believe that a lot of what would make somebody get nauseous is sort of the movement that's happening of what you're watching. A lot of the demos I've seen since, I've been standing still, and much of what I'm looking at is also sort of right in front of me. So I'm going to have to do some further testing on that. But the way Apple has really designed this is to sort of replace your screens, right? You can put this on, you can have many virtual screens in front of you versus going into a full virtual world like you would do in VR.
Right. So do you see this as an entertainment device you would use on a plane? Do you think people are going to use this in the office? Are pilots going to use this to train, engineering? Where are the use cases going to come from?
This is my biggest question, and I really have to be able to test this outside of Apple's closed walls to figure that out. Is this going to be best used for work? That seems to be something that Apple's talking a bit about, right? Tim Cook has even said he's been working in this thing. Can it replace the Mac or whatever you're working on? Can it also then kind of replace the TV? For many years, we wondered, where is the Apple TV? Is this actually it? Is this sort of the portable TV that you bring on the airplane or you watch on the train? Everyone is asking, where's the killer app? I do not think there's going to be a killer app. I think there are going to be some killer use cases, and we've got to figure out what those are with some further testing.
Joanna, I realize it may be hard to compare, but I'm sure you've worn these glasses from Meta, for example. I guess the sunglasses. I'm just curious to get your thoughts about the applicability there of a far lower priced product, but how you think it's similar or different, and what success may accrue there as well.
Yeah, I think, look, there's going to be 2 different categories till we can eventually get to the perfect world where we can have the sunglasses or the glasses, the real natural looking Warby Parker Ray-Ban type glasses that have a screen in them and a camera. Meta is doing that right now with the Ray-Bans. They just have a camera in there. They don't have a screen. It's a lower cost product, a couple $100s, and it's really cool for taking photos and asking the AI assistant answer some questions. Then you've got the other side of this, high-end VR, AR, mixed reality headsets. That's where Apple's playing right now. That's where the Meta Quest 3 plays right now. At some point, these things are going to converge. And that is the path Apple is on here with spatial computing. It is just going to take a number of years to get this big, chunky face computer into some smaller glasses.
All right. And all that said, at almost $4,000, I mean, clearly it's not a mainstream product, but what are your expectations then? Who's going to actually buy this thing?
Well, certainly early adopters. I will say my very not good data Twitter or X poll this morning asked a bunch of my followers if they've ordered 20%, a little more than 20%, a little bit, have ordered. I think it puts that around sort of 300 orders from my small sample group there. And I expect a lot of those are early adopters, people who want to try this thing One thing I do think that we should keep an eye on are returns of this product. This does come under Apple's normal return policy. So if you want to try this thing, what's the best way to do it? You front your $3,500 and then you return it if you don't like it.
You know what I think, guys? I think we've got into a stage in capitalism where companies have realized they need to grow to satisfy shareholders. And we've innovated so well over the past 20 years. I mean, this thing right here is just, it is so good. And we don't know how to out-innovate it. And so we're trying to force a new product category onto consumers when we don't need to. I genuinely believe this. We do not need a face computer on our faces. I do not see the utility of it outside of the iPhone until it becomes that form factor that's like, pure glasses, you're in the Matrix type of thing. And even then, I don't see that much utility. But we're trying to force it because Apple needs to grow and because Zuck needs to grow, right? He changes the whole company from Facebook to Metaverse. So the stage of capitalism we're at is that we are forcing growth off of something that doesn't need to grow. And I get it because these companies need to show growth, but I don't know if this is the way they grow. I really don't. I am not excited for this product. I just don't think it's that amazing. These products are overdeveloped for a market that doesn't exist and won't ever exist. That is my I agree with Harry. And I'm totally willing to be wrong on this because I'm so excited about AI and the future and all this stuff. But this is the one part of the whole AI future narrative I've just never. And I remember talking about this in 2022 on the channel on Finance Junkies. I remember having these debates with Carlos and Vitaly. I'm like, dude, no one wants to wear this. And Apple and Vitaly's like, well, Meta will win because people will wear it. And Carlos is like, well, Apple will win. And I'm just like, I don't think any of you guys are right about this. They'll win in other ways, and that's how the stock will go up. But I don't think it's these devices. Look, but I could be wrong. I shared in the morning that 50,000 rabbits, this like AI hardware device, is being sold or were pre-ordered. So there's at $200 a pop. So there's obviously an affinity for people to want to try different things outside of the phone. My belief is that people are just going to come back to the phone because there's nothing more efficient than the phone. And if that's the case, then it might be harder for Apple to continue to win. Okay, let's show you guys another clip that I had from the Meet Kevin interview, and then I'll share the podcast again. PayPal. What does he believe about PayPal? PayPal was up 6% of the day. Here are Meet Kevin's thoughts on why this is the only fintech he really likes right now.
PayPal, you have some of that in the portfolio. Why did you buy PayPal at 55, 65?
Yeah, well, boy. So to me, PayPal is this like, PayPal got socially destroyed with some stupid terms of services they put in that made it seem like if you spread misinformation, you would get like fined $2,000 or whatever. They got so much hate. And usually I like it when a company has a lot of hate because usually that hate is transitory. But if there's one thing I found over the last year, it doesn't need to be transitory. Like you look at Disney, they are still hated today after like the fights DeSantis had with them, like almost 18 months ago at this point. So it's surprising how like steadfast some of the cancel culture has been. And in many degrees, rightfully so. But I think it's a company with a low valuation that, their growth has slowed down, but I wouldn't be surprised that we start getting growth again, mostly because it's a fantastic product.
Right.
It's a really good product.
And you're not concerned about hyper competition between the Cash Apps and the Apple Pays of the world and PayPal's a dinosaur?
Yeah. That's possible too. But you've got your Venmo acquisition that is way better than Zelle.
Right.
Like Zelle, the friction to pay on Zelle, the pain of paying with Zelle is very high.
Yeah.
The ability to get BNPL rapidly with PayPal is very accessible. Yeah, Apple's a good competitor. Cash App's a good competitor. But Square's got a fat valuation on it compared to PayPal, in my opinion.
Right.
So between the two, and I usually hate financial services because of exactly what you said. They're very competitive. So it's a low allocation, but I thought if I was going to have exposure, it would be PayPal. It's not my favorite play, though.
So he's pretty bullish on PayPal. I think a lot of us, have been excited for this company. And again, the main reason that he's bullish on PayPal is because of the valuation and the fact that the market is pricing them in for growth so that if they, or pricing them in for no growth. So if they show some growth, then, stock potentially could do well for PayPal. Square is not a fat valuation. I'm late. When was this interview? David, I just did this interview 2 days ago in California. I just got back. That's why I missed the market open for 2 days. I put in the chat on a new channel. You can subscribe and check out that channel as well. I think I don't know enough about Square, but what I understand is that Square's revenues are, if you look at their revenue multiple on top of their market cap, it is a little fat given the revenue. I mean, Square, what, $40 billion market cap. And I think they do, how much, dude, I think they do about $4 billion a year. Am I wrong on that? But they do $4 billion a year, but they have $1 billion in stock-based comp. That's always the reason I never liked Square. They do $1 billion in stock-based comp, $4 billion a year. I mean, the multiple's not insane, I guess. I don't think they're profitable at all. And I don't understand how they make money off Bitcoin. I know they allow you to transact Bitcoin, but they make so little on the fees on Bitcoin, from my understanding, because not that many people buy Bitcoin on Cash App. The Cash App transactions they make money off of, and it's like the best payment product in the world, or at least by the numbers on Cash App in terms of its ranking on the App Store and all that stuff. But that's never been super exciting to me. The thing that's exciting to me about Square is their merchant business. Or Block, right? They have the ability to offer that Square to merchants, and then people can swipe through that and they take a fee off that. That was always exciting, but I got to do more research on Square. I really don't understand that company. I just never liked it. I knew it was at $30 in October. It's at $70 right now, so it's done nicely. But I think Kevin could be right that there is a fatter valuation on it, because I think it just kind of went up because Bitcoin went up as well. So I'm not fully sure on what is Square. We got Philip Rizzo in the chat. He's upset. He's a Square bull. Dude, I got to do a podcast with someone on Square one day, because I don't understand the business at all, and I've never been excited about Square. I also don't like Jack Dorsey. I think that dude is not the best CEO. I mean, and that's not me being ideological. Look at what he did with Twitter for 10 years. You cannot tell me you're a great CEO and you don't even allow people to upload a video in 480p on Twitter for 10 years. And then Elon comes in 5 months, he changes that. Like, dude, I just don't think he ever really cared about shareholders, ever. I really don't think he ever cared about shareholders. But granted, maybe that's something me and Steve do a deep dive on. Kelly says, still holding Square shares. I got at 43. No idea when to sell. Yeah, and look, I got mad at Kelly for buying at not mad, but when she bought it like 43, I was like, why are you buying Square? As I was telling the whole chat, why are you buying? And then Square goes to $70. I'm like, all right, I guess I was wrong. But I still don't know. Speaking of that, Steve just texted me. Oh, hi, Steve. If you're watching, I'll text you back in a second. But I don't understand Square. I really don't. They have a merchant business. They have Cash App. I don't know how they make money off Bitcoin. I think they ballooned because the whole market went up in November, December, up 9%. So Square went up with it. Bitcoin rallied, so Square went up with Bitcoin. But I have no idea why. I have no idea why. I just don't know what the fuck Square does, dude. I gotta research it over the weekend. Like, why is Square even exciting? Why is it interesting? You know, like, what does it even do? I'm gonna ask Bard something real quick. Can we let's do this on Bard? Let's see if we can actually use it. Can you explain to me what Square, the company, does as if I'm in second grade? Okay, let's see what it comes up with. Let's see what it can do. Imagine you have a lemonade stand at your school fair. You want to sell your yummy lemonade, but it's a tough nut because not everyone carries cash. Square, which used to be called Square, is like a magic helper for lemonade stands. Square app, online store, Square reader. Okay. Square just doesn't help with lemonade stands. They also help sorts of businesses, big and small, do the same thing except payments. Okay, so they're a payments company. So explain how Square makes money off Cash App. Let's ask that question. So the first part of their business is the lemonade stand, right? The middleman between payments and everything else. They make money off transaction fees off Cash App, and then their Bitcoin business. Remember those shiny rocks you collect sometimes? Bitcoin is kind of like that. Dude, that's hilarious. But in the digital world, Cash App helps people buy and sell Bitcoin just like a magician makes coins appears and they make a little bit of money. Basically, they just call it Bitcoin magic money. That's what they did. Okay, so they make money off Bitcoin fees and transaction fees. That's not that exciting, dude. That's not that exciting. Like, why are people bullish on Square? They make money off Bitcoin fees and transaction fees, and they make money off people swiping through the Square app. Okay, let me refresh it. How else to Square? Square makes money off Bitcoin and payments, but what else? Let's see what else they say. How else do they make money? Bard's got jokes, dude. Bard is hilarious. I just called it magic money. just called it freaking magic money, dude. That's hilarious. It literally called magic money. So subscriptions, hardware sales, I mean, that's not money for them. So that's irrelevant. They lose money on that. Partnerships, that's irrelevant too. Like partnerships just leads to transactions on the payments. That's not that exciting. Investing in innovation, that's bullshit. I don't care about the innovation. Financial services, they offer small business loans. Don't tell me people are investing in Square for small business loans. Okay. So like my 3-minute DD that you guys just see me do shows that Square makes money off transaction fees on Cash App, Bitcoin fees, and then merchant fees. Why does that company deserve to be valued at $40 billion with $1 billion in stock-based comp? I don't know, dude. I don't know. They own Tidal. Yeah, they fucking saved Jay-Z's ass with his failing music streaming business and paid him $300 million because this is why Jack Dorsey is not good for shareholders, dude. Jack Dorsey wanted Jay-Z to be on Twitter for years. Jay-Z said, no, I'm not a Twitter guy. And then finally, Jack Dorsey got really buddy-buddy with him to the point where Jay-Z came on Twitter. And then, you know, he's doing Twitter spaces and stuff. And then Jay-Z's like, hey, I'm not making any business money off this Tidal app. If anyone even remembers Tidal, their Spotify competitor, absolute flop. And then Jack Dorsey's like, well, we'll buy it for the data. Because, yeah, the data on 10 million people streaming music is so valuable for you to make more money off like payment processing. Like, give me a break, dude. Jack Dorsey has been the worst CEO for shareholder returns. And if you just look at Twitter stock, that's evident of it. The fact that Twitter did not innovate for years, the fact that you could not edit a tweet for 10 years, for a decade. I just can't bet on a company with a guy like that running the ship. By the way, he was running Twitter and Square at the same time. And he was more passionate about Bitcoin. So you know he was more passionate about Square. He was definitely not more passionate about Twitter, especially because he was having all of his little minions censor every little piece of information that came out about, you know, Hunter Biden or something. Like, it was just like, come on, dude. This can't be the company that people are excited about. Square cannot be the company that people are excited about. And I'm willing to learn more. But off that basic due diligence I did in 5 minutes, I'm curious what's the rebuttal to that. They make money off Bitcoin transaction fees and payments. Like, why is that so exciting? Especially if they're not the premier place to buy Bitcoin. Like, they're not like a Coinbase or anything. That's not why they own Tidal. Okay, so why do they own Tidal? Block is disrupting Visa, MasterCard. Dude, every time someone says this, I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm not going to put my money to bet that Block is disrupting Visa and MasterCard. I do. Let's do another Bard prompt, okay? How much money is transacted via Visa and MasterCard every day? Okay, let's just get an understanding of the scale of those two companies before we say Block is disrupting Visa and MasterCard. Okay, so Visa processed approximately 242 billion purchase transactions worldwide in 2022. This translates to roughly 60 million transactions per day. Daily transaction volume for Visa in 2022 was $36 billion, 13 trillion all throughout 2022. MasterCard is about 7.7 trillion in 2022 with an average of $21 billion a day. So between both of them, you're doing $60 billion a day in transaction volume. Square's market cap is 40 billion. I mean, like Square's revenue is barely 4 billion. So I don't know where Square is disrupting Visa and MasterCard. I don't know if that's the investment thesis. Cash App owning Tidal is a effing hilarious joke. Yeah, dude. Like, they didn't buy Tidal to make Cash App better. Like, no one gives a shit about listening to music while you're sending people money. Like, it's just, I don't know, dude. I could be off on this. I mean, maybe I need to have an interview with the Square bull, but like, Square's not exciting. It ran up when the market ran up. But like, if you ask me to give you a bull case on Robinhood, I can actually break it down and give you a bull case. And I don't think I need to be a rocket scientist to give you a bull case. More people trade. Robinhood makes more money off payment for order flow. For Square, it's like, are more people going to send money to each other? Like, you know, that's not really a high margin type of business where you take a transaction up. Are more people going to trade Bitcoin? Yes, but that's definitely not happening on Square. It's going to be happening on fucking Coinbase and Robinhood. It's not going to be. So it's like, I don't know. They own Tidal to support artists. They sell Square products to artists. Okay, let me break that argument down, Honest Joe. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's a good argument. So artists suck as business people. Creative people are not good at having a business mindset. First of all, like, top level overview, it is incredibly hard to become successful in the music industry. It is also incredibly hard to be your own independent music, let's call it entrepreneur, and have your own business without having a record label. Square saying, hey, we're going to buy Tidal, and all of these music artists that are failing But because if you're trying to start your music career on Tidal, I'm sorry, you're failing. You need to be on Spotify and Apple. That's where the users are. If you're getting massive distribution on Tidal, it means you're a niche underground artist that maybe has some audience that would be willing to pay for your t-shirts via the Square app. But the idea that there would be millions of artists that have this beautiful music, successful, loyal fan base, and that Square bought Tidal so that they can sell them Square financial products so that those artists can use the Square app versus something like Shopify to sell their services or sell their products. I don't see that happening. I don't think that's happening as well. I don't think that's the case. They also support users on Spotify. Sure, that's fine, but that doesn't mean you have to buy Tidal. That's my point. Then just partner with Spotify. You don't need to buy Tidal. It was an absolute egregious waste of $300 million by someone who did not give a shit about shareholders in terms of Jack Dorsey. By the way, you guys remember, Square was at $250 at one point. Square is down big time. I mean, Square's all-time high, if you just look at the max, was in 2021. And I know 2021 was crazy, but still, it was at $289. It was at $30 in October. So we're talking about and it's been almost 3 years since then. So I don't know if they've really proven to the market that there's a broader business there that can be exciting. Didn't like how Square rebranded to Block. Yeah, I mean, that was just Jack Dorsey like pleasuring himself with his Bitcoin fantasies. I mean, that's like, I don't know. I don't see the vision for Square. I don't see it. But open to being wrong. Totally open to being wrong. I've never heard of Tidal. Yeah, it's a music streaming app. I've heard of Tidal before. I just like most people are using Spotify or Apple for music. That's the main thing. Jonah Gutierrez says, I think you should look at how the Bitcoin Lightning Network can disrupt Visa and MasterCard. I would watch Jack Miller, CEO of Strike presentation at the Bitcoin conference. I know who Jack Miller is. I've listened to him talk before. I simply do not believe that the Bitcoin Lightning Network is at all in any sense of the imagination even 1% close to disrupting Visa and MasterCard in its present day. Most people are not transacting via the Bitcoin Lightning Network. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that there's no one using it, but you're talking about $60 billion between Visa and MasterCard, and that's just those two. You've got other big finance. I mean, JP Morgan handles $7 trillion of money flowing in and out a day in between stocks, bonds, equities, purchases, all the stores that they're at, all their physical locations, banks, etc. I don't think the Bitcoin Lightning Network is disrupting that. One day it might. And even when it does disrupt it, it's definitely not ruining that entire financial system. And that's not being bearish on Bitcoin. That's just saying, hey, like you can be bullish on Bitcoin and assume it's not going to destroy the financial sector or disrupt it. But I don't know if betting on Square and their pseudo Lightning Network technology, which might be really good technology, is a good bet that MasterCard and Visa are going to fall apart. Because that's the bet you have to make in order to imagine that Square is going to, become a monster company and succeed over the next 5 years, because I don't know how else they're making money outside of those payments. Jesse says nice rant, but no. All right, we need someone to educate with me on this. We absolutely need someone to educate me on this, because I think the arguments are kind of sound. Granted, I've done zero due diligence on this. This is just coming up on the spot. That's where the debate background helps. But I'm open to being wrong. I'm very, very, very much open to being wrong and listening to what people have to say. Cool. What else do we have? I think that's pretty much it. Spotify can't make money. That's my point. If Spotify can't make money, Tidal can't make money. So I don't know why Square bought Tidal, which is why I didn't hesitate to buy at $41 on Square. Yeah, I mean, look, it was definitely at a low at Square. I see your point, Lena. It was down from 289 to 41. So you were like, fuck it, why not? Which is correct. You speculated on it, and you've done well with your speculation. I just don't know if there's a ton of growth into Square. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. All right, guys. I think that is it for me. We have one big earnings week coming up. We have a lot of stuff to discuss. I do want to play one clip for you guys that I think you guys are going to find funny, so I'll play that in a second. Here is the Meet Kevin interview again for those that want to check it out. Even if you're a Square bull, check out the interview. Hopefully, you'll enjoy it. He talks about fintech, even though I didn't ask him about Square. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. New macro analysis channel, Macro Darts. Maybe the name will change, but for now it's called Macro Darts, and we'll just do all my macroeconomic fun analysis. If I want to do a deep dive breakdown on Square, it'll be on that channel, not on this channel. And so that's the reasoning for why we started a new channel. And we already have how many people subscribe? We already have 602 people subscribe, which is really awesome. It's very hard to build a channel and get subscribers. It is one of the most difficult things in the world. So thank you to the 602 people that subscribed. Means the absolute world to me. Let me leave you guys with this for the weekend. So I tried to do a joke this morning on the live stream, on the Market Open live stream. Some of you guys were there and saw it. Some of you guys weren't there. And the joke did not land. And the reason the joke did not land was because I messed up with the fingering of the joke. So you know how YouTube, Spotify, and Netflix are not using Apple anymore? So spontaneously, I was like, oh, I'll just say they gave them the middle finger. And as I'm thinking of making this joke about giving them the middle finger, I try to actually execute on the joke, right? I have a dream, a vision of this joke, an idea of this joke. So I try to execute against the idea of the joke. And the execution, unfortunately, just didn't work. So here's what happened. Here we go. And Google, Spotify, Netflix all had 5 fingers. They did this Apple. They took their 5 fingers, they put this one down, then they put this one down, then they put this one down, then they turned the finger around, and then they put this one down. And this is what they did to Apple. They oh shit, that wasn't even the middle finger. Fuck, that was, someone's gonna clip it. Damn it, that was such a good setup. That was such a good little clip, and I didn't even get the fucking middle finger right. All right, well, this is what they did. Damn it, that was finger. Fuck, that oh shit, that wasn't even. It was. I mean, look at my face right there. It was just like, wow. I mean, look at that. I'm so excited. I'm like, damn, I just pulled off this joke. This is great. This is awesome. This joke landed. I came up with this joke. I planned for the market open. I spent a decent amount of time in the morning making sure I'm prepared so I don't sound like an idiot. And that one, sometimes things come spontaneously and you roll with it and you just start going. And there's like 500 people, so you don't want to look like a dumbass. And then the joke, you're one finger away from this joke landing. And you realize, I mean, I remember this morning when I was looking at my ring finger and I was like, that doesn't look like it's in the middle. And I realized that I didn't land the joke. So, it's a lesson that in life you have to keep persevering. And even if, things don't work, you got to keep going forward. You gotta keep going forward. That's all you can do. That's all you can. Too complicated to admit. People are simple. Yeah, pretty much. Let's do one more word of the day because I said I would do 2 words of the day because I missed it for the last week. So today's word of the day, we did the susaurus one in the morning, which I don't even remember what it means, but it was susaurus. Oh, it meant whispering. This word of the day from vocabulary.com, let's do that one and then we'll end it out, is witticism.
Witticism.
Dude, I promise you, I did not plan this, dude. Like, why did she say it like that?
Witticism.
Dude, why do they have these voice actors say shit like this? It's so weird.
Witticism.
It's like seductive, but not seductive.
Witticism.
All right. Well, witticism describes something funny that someone says, like a pun or a little joke. You may have heard that it is a good start off to speech with witticism because if you make the audience laugh, it'll help them and you relax. I would say I have some witticism in me. In the morning, I was not able to execute against that witticism with the joke you guys just saw. But yeah, the way she said it was all right. I love her voice too. It's a nice voice. It was just, she says like a Harry Potter spell, dude. Facts. Perfect word of the day. It was very good, very slow. She talks slow. I need to learn how to talk slow. I don't know how to talk slow, but if I do, talk slow one day, hopefully I could talk slow like her. Too late at night to be using these words. I love it. All right, everybody. That's it for me. Thank you, everybody, for joining the Market Open stream and the close for the past couple of days. Thank you all for subscribing to the new channel, Meet Kevin interview. I'll put it again in the chat. Again, for those that want to check it out. And we will have Pouncer Weekly tonight, 11 p.m. A lot of Pouncer news to discuss. So we'll be, a lot of Pouncer news to discuss. So we'll be talking about that. So we'll have one more stream. And tomorrow, Steve and I will probably be doing a Starbucks breakdown on the channel. So we'll do that. And that's pretty much it for me for the week. I'm probably not streaming Sunday. I'll upload the entire Meet Kevin interview on this channel on Sunday with the part where I asked him about like his life. So that'll be like a Sunday special. So Sunday, if you just want to hear, him talk about like how he became a YouTuber and all that stuff, that'll be on this channel. I'll put it there on Sunday as well. All right, that's it for me. Thank you everybody for joining. Hope you guys have a great weekend. It is snowing outside, so if you're in the Northeast, be safe. And I will see you guys on Monday, 8:45 a.m. Eastern for the Market Open, and tonight 11 p.m. for Pouncer Weekly. Bye everyone. Love you all. Have a great week. And thank you for the support this week. It's been pretty awesome. A lot of people really missed the Market Open, and that means a lot to me. So thank you, everybody. I will see you guys later today. Bye-bye.